Your catalog has owners, lineage, descriptions, and tags, but you still can't run SQL against any of it. The Metadata Lakehouse changes that. Connecting it to Snowflake takes a few minutes. We've seen teams build full API extract pipelines just to get Atlan metadata into a queryable form. Paginated logic, rate limit handling, schema maintenance every time something changes. Weeks of engineering to answer questions the Lakehouse handles in a single query. The setup here takes less time than it takes to scope those pipelines. The Lakehouse changes the model entirely. Instead of extracting metadata to query it elsewhere, we connect our query engine directly to where it lives. Every asset, tag, lineage path, and governance attribute becomes tables and attributes that we can query. By the end of this walkthrough, we'll have the Metadata Lakehouse enabled, Snowflake connected, and our first query running against live Atlan metadata. Atlan handles all the infrastructure. On our end, it's 2 steps in the Atlan UI and 2 SQL commands in Snowflake. Quick note before we start. We're using Snowflake as the compute layer in this walkthrough, but the Metadata Lakehouse is built on Apache Iceberg, which means it's compatible with any engine that supports the Iceberg spec. If your team runs Databricks, Spark, or Trino, the same Lakehouse sits underneath. The connection steps will differ on your side, so be sure to check the documentation. Let's walk through the setup. To begin the setup, we must be an administrator. We go to the Workflows tab and then Marketplace, which is where we find the Atlan Lakehouse tile. We click it and hit Enable. We're prompted to enter our tenant name. We confirm it, and Atlan kicks off the setup. In the background, Atlan is provisioning the Lakehouse, building out Iceberg formatted tables for every asset type in our workspace. Tables, columns, dashboards, lineage paths, glossary terms, tags, and governance attributes. This part is async. We don't even have to worry about it. Setup can take a few hours depending on the size of the data estate. We'll get an email when it's done. The connection details here won't be available until that setup completes, so we have to wait for the confirmation before moving on. Once we get the confirmation email, we come back to the Marketplace and reopen the Lakehouse tile. By clicking on the View Connection Details, we see our catalog URI, catalog name, and OAuth credentials we'll need to connect our query engine. Atlan prefills all the details for us. We're not configuring anything manually. We're just copying what Atlan has already set up. Now let's take those details over to Snowflake. At the bottom, we have tabs for the different computes that we could look to connect to our Lakehouse. For Snowflake, we are provided with the exact Snowflake commands we need to create the integration and link databases. Now, we open our Snowflake console and navigate to a new SQL query. We'll need a role of account admin privileges to run this. If we don't have that, we would need to get our Snowflake admin involved before starting. We paste the SQL and run. The script creates 2 things: a catalog integration that points at the Atlan Lakehouse and a linked database called context store. As noted on screen, we can update the script to match our naming conventions before running, but be sure to keep the updates consistent throughout the script. Within seconds, we'll see the context store appear under our databases in Snowflake, right alongside our other data sources, like it's always been there. Here's what that actually means. Every asset in Atlan, every table, column, dashboard, glossary term, every tag, and every lineage relationship is now queryable from Snowflake. Not some extract push to you, it's live metadata available through standard SQL. We're now treating our metadata like data. We've got the Metadata Lakehouse running and connected to Snowflake. From here, everything in our Atlan workspace is queryable. Asset metadata, lineage relationships, glossary terms, tag coverage, usage data even. No pipelines, no extracts, no waiting for someone to build a report for us. If you want to see what kind of queries you can actually run against the Metadata Lakehouse, metadata completeness, lineage exports, glossary analysis, check out our use case videos. Drop a comment with what you'd want to query from your catalog and why. We read them all.